Well, good morning to you all. We are live here in Gettysburg, and today we're going to see a Civil War museum and maybe other places to visit. And we're going to take you with us, so please come along with us. So we have been to the visitor center before, but not in the museum parts. So we're going to go check one out. So I hope you enjoy this day with us. You want your particular Abe Lincoln?
Well, probably when we go to the bathroom.
Okay. A lot of people here today. So let's go see what they have so we can get into what to watch or do.
Okay.
Here's the information center. So you guys get your tickets. The world of Civil War soldiers.
Museum experience 1475.
That's not a bad price, though.
Huh?
That's not a bad price. Oh, you can't see up
Per
there.
person, adults 2075.
Oh, the museum experience.
Oh, 1475. What would it show you?
I don't know.
Oh, that's for film. The corn, whatever that word is, the museum experience.
Yeah.
Ooh, prices are more than what they was online. Yeah.
Do you want to ask them what their museum experience is?
Oh, I went up.
Well, yeah. So what do you want to do? And here we go. Yeah. You want to take them?
So who do you give them to?
I don't know. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Are we allowed in this section?
Hello.
Folks, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you for asking. You saw us like around. Oh, you've been doing a museum? Fine,
Yeah.
Okay. We close at 5 o'clock, but you can come in and out all day. You want to go to the battlefield or go out to lunch, you can come back in.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Okay.
So we go through these doors?
This is it. This way, please. Enjoy the museum.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming again.
Wow. I hope it's not going to be too dark in here. All right.
Joining forces with the larger movement focused on stopping the expansion of slavery. In 1854, this coalition gave birth to the Republican Party. Its defining mission: to stop the expansion of slavery into the West. The issue polarized the country. Fights broke out on the floor of Congress. Violence erupted in Kansas. In the presidential election of 1860, the slavery issue split the Democratic Party, making a Republican victory likely. The Republican candidate was Abraham Lincoln. Pro-slavery factions railed against Lincoln, believing his true aim was the ultimate end of all slavery. Some southern states threatened to secede if Lincoln was elected. His victory triggered a cascading series of events. On December 20, 1860, South Carolina seceded from the Union. 6 other states soon followed, forming a new country, the Confederate States of America. On April 12, 1868, the Confederates fired on Federal troops holding Fort Sumter, South Carolina. When Lincoln called for volunteers to put down the rebellion, 4 more southern states declared their independence and joined the Confederacy. The war had begun.
The war had begun. Just don't stick your tongue out.
I believe this government cannot endure. Our new government is founded upon exactly the opposite idea. Its foundations are laid, its cornerstones rest upon the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man. In your hands and dissatisfied fellow countrymen, and not in mine, is the momentous issue of civil war.
Big trunk. Look at the cannon. The ball, the cannonballs. Fort Sumter Falls. It's alright.
I like it.
Gaston Blues, 1861.
The 7 days battles followed, including clashes at Meade's Mill, Savage's Station, and Mount Reed. Lee's troops pushed McClellan's 120,000 men down the peninsula and away from Richmond. Leaving part of his army to watch McClellan, Lee moved to counter another threat, the Union Army under General John Pope in northern Virginia. After 2 days of bloody fighting at the Second Battle of Manassas, Confederate General James Longstreet's corps stormed into the Union left and the Blue Line in front. Lee wasted no time in carrying the war north. In early September, he led his army into Maryland. President Lincoln had called McClellan to command the Army of the Potomac. The second clash between the Lee and McClellan reached its climax.
Guns.
Part of it.
Yeah. Well, look at this picture back here. Soldier's life.
Look, the domino set and the little chess set and the deck of cards. And then look at this. This was splints, like if you broke your leg or hurt your leg, that's what they put on you.
Religious images, prayer cards.
What's that? Sweet.
So I had him.
The home front.
Ah, nice. Yeah. You are really good at not like that. Just lost the balance.
Fort Sumter and following, north to south, soldiers and civilians alike believe the single glorious battle.
So what is that?
Both sides
Is that a damper? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Night fighting.
Several hundred Confederates pierced the Union line, but Union soldiers overwhelmed them. The Confederates are stopped. In just under an hour, one of the largest infantry charges of the war,
At Meade's headquarters.
the Confederates are in retreat. Nearly 6,000 are dead, wounded, or captured. General Lee's gamble has failed. The 3 days of battle cost the Confederates 28,000 casualties, and the Union 23,000. In the next few days, the Confederate Army retreats to Virginia, with the Union Army in cautious pursuit. The threat to Pennsylvania is over. The war will continue for nearly 2 more years.
Wow. Halfway there, at 3:15 to 3:25 p.m., July 3rd, 1863. At the angle. Last shots.
July 3rd, 1863. As the third day of battle approaches, the Confederate and Union armies have fought to a near draw. On the previous day, Confederate forces gained ground, but not the crucial high ground. General Lee believes he can lead. General Meade knows he must not lose. Overnight, the two generals prepare for battle. Meade reinforces the Union forces. Lee reinforces the Confederate left and sends orders to the right. Both Confederate flanks are at first light. General George Davis Division and Jeb Stewart's 3 cavalry brigades follow the line. Lee sends Stewart's cavalry east of Gettysburg to threaten the Union and respond to communication and retreat. The Union forces Meade retain his cavalry to protect the Union's right flank. Dawn breaks at 4 a.m. Union artillery, walking opens the Confederate positions face close to it. The infantry is in motion.
We must now prepare for the harder blows and harder work. Robert E. Lee, July 26, 1863. A lot of men. Take another one. The brave man living and dead. The wounded. Do you know that picture?
Yeah.
Okay. You what? Oh. Oh.
In every house and barn and shed, the wounded were there. One vast hospital, miles in extent.
Start over and move on.
Fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now, we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation
It's gonna happen
or any
again.
nation so conceived and so dedicated
Yeah. The great task remaining before us.
They don't do that now.
Bragg followed the Union Army and took up positions near Chattanooga. Ulysses S. Grant arrived to take command and spent a month assembling forces to break Bragg's siege of the city.
There's a lot in here.
Grant
There's a lot in here.
His troops seized Lookout
This sure is bigger.
I know.
and drove the 50,000 Confederates from the field. 6 weeks later, Grant was back east.
Soldiers and survivors.
All Union armies and determined to defeat Robert E. Lee and his friends. Grant began his Virginia campaign in early May with more than 150,000 men. Over the next 6 weeks, Grant's army
Yep.
clashed with wilderness, Spotsylvania, and courthouse were Union casualties were spent 55,000 homes and nearly 13,000 friends. But Grant proved himself unable to help the attack after every defeat. Next, his new whole plan. He was on the south crossing the James River to Gettysburg, Virginia, an important rail center just outside.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Gettysburg National Military Park. You're invited to join a park rangers for a free program beginning in 5 minutes.
Unless we looked at 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Your host will explore the role of artillery during the Civil War and will be on a candid crew to learn how to
our boat.
This is a free program with a National Park Service Ranger. It will begin in 5 minutes at Ranger Program Site number 1. The white tent located directly behind the building.
Ratification of the 15th Amendment to the Constitution abolished slavery throughout the nation. Upon receipt to the U.S. Senate, millions were transported from the state. Former slaves emerged from bondage to state ideas of self-reliance, family stability, religious liberty, economic opportunity, and political participation. Their activism, both state and national, helped forge profound change in the national concept of civil rights. The Civil Rights Act of 1866 defined all persons born in the United States as citizens and spelled out certain rights that could not be denied. In 1868, ratification of the 14th Amendment to the Constitution promised equal protection under the law, regardless of race, a promise to be enforced by the federal government if violated by the states.
We the people.
The 15th Amendment, ratified in 1870, prevented states from
I think we're at the end, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay. Man, this is interesting.
There's a monument there. Back to Gettysburg. I guess. It's like an aroma. Yeah.
Stuff down here too. Guys, there's more down here. Where's Katie? Oh, wait.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Huh. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's why I was teasing this eggs in front of me.
Oh. Yeah. Put it on top. This one we go. Wow, that museum was so fascinating to see. There's so much stuff in there. If you're in Gettysburg, come check it out. But now I'm hungry, so let's go get a bite to eat. So we're going to go check out the Gettysburg Tour Center. That's where you take the bus rides, tour around town. I know. And this is a newer building because they tore down the old one and built a new one.
This is bigger.
Yeah, probably nicer inside too. You in the front? Huh. I guess. One of these places used to be like the Hall of Presidents, remember? The Hall of Presidents?
Here?
It used to be, then they took it out.
Yeah, okay. Trying to see the buildings.
Yes, you are.
All right.
Get magnets in here.
YouTubers.
Mugs. Looks like a nice one.
17.
It's about a reasonable price for it. Huh?
Is it going to be safe for me?
License plates. What are they gonna? What are they got lanyards in here?
What's that?
Lanyards. Oh. Drinking. Drinking. Yeah. Keychains. Wow. I guess you just catch the buses upstairs. Might not be anything up there.
I don't know.
That's not bad. No, go ahead.
Let's say if you don't think there's any nice people, you
Yeah. Alright, now it's time to go find food. Look at this beautiful view. But let's go check out the house over there. Haven't been there yet. Cars go by. They're gonna wait for us.
I think that one's turning. Yeah. There we go.
members of it thrown back, and its condition indicated that a wounded soldier had occupied it. Again, this is used as a space of death. We're also trying to bring back life. Take a look at this photo. You can see Leister's house, which from this side it was taken down the street over here. And on the road that we just crossed, you can see some of those dead horses from around her property. Now, after the battle, a few years later, Leister petitioned the Pennsylvania government to help her recover from this damage. Damage that had largely been caused by Confederate shots that overshot their targets on Cemetery Ridge. She petitioned for $555. Anyone want to guess how much she received? You got a little bit more than zero. Not maybe too much better. You got $52.50. All the damage around here. Despite this, Leister tried to make the best of the situation. Using the 15 to 17 horses on her property, she sold off their bones, about 750 pounds of them, and made about $3.75 for that sale, so that those bones could be turned into fertilizer. Leister then used the money she got from Pennsylvania and from the crops that she was able to restore, money from the bones, to make renovations and even additions to the house. So Leister was an enterprising woman. She was very stern, but nonetheless, she wanted to make sure that her life continued after the devastation around her was brought about. Not a lot of people had the same view of Leister as what I just described. In fact, one visitor recalled, "This poor woman's entire interest in the great battle was, I found, centered in her own loss. That the country lost or gained, she did not know or care, never having once thought of that side of the place." And so as we're about to go forward, I'd like to put it all to you. Do you think that that's a fair assessment? A woman whose livelihood is around here, tarnished by the scars of battle, trying to make sure that she can live and prosper another day. I personally don't think it's fair. But ultimately, as we head to the next stop, we're going to talk about what the soldiers here lost or gained for their country, as they too suffered from the battle that was fought over here by them. Okay, so I told you it's all up to you. We could go to the house briefly because we have a pretty small group. Otherwise, if folks want to come back afterwards, we can do that as well.
If you come back afterwards, you have an excellent drive here in Denver.
Yes, that's right. What do we think?
If you want to know more about the people who live here, if you just want to, if you're not thinking of stopping back, at least stick your head inside.
Why don't we go and real? And then if you want more, we can go.
Yeah, we don't want to take away any of this presentation. But when you get into the room on the right, imagine 12 Union generals in there.
She basically was told to go, following told to go, and she took a bag of clothes and That's a very good point too. You have a strong individual. Well, Leister too, she was said to be a Dutch woman, which basically meant a German woman. She's born here in the U.S., but she's, you kind of get some of that too, some of that, her mistrust of immigrants, even though she was born here. So if you guys want a little bit more detail, head on out, come back over here, tell you about a little bit more about that council.
Yeah, please stop back later if you get a chance.
Yes. What are you missing?
Warren.
Oh.
One already
Step it anyway.
True enough.
Yeah, Governor Warren didn't fall asleep. He had a rough day.
Mm-hmm. This is pretty neat. Can you touch the ceiling? Oh yeah.
Not to be confused with his house.
No. That's in Philadelphia.
All right, come on in.
Sure. Making a thing, he was telling me.
Oh, I tell you what.
What do you say?
3
5
days.
days before.
3 days before the battle starts. Yeah.
Hello, my darling.
Oh, hi.
Yes.
I gotta
and
hand
here,
you my
take
phone.
your photos and put your famously on a book.
I don't know about a book, but.
Well, I'll leave you in good hands and take care.
Have a blessed day.
Have a good one, Mike. Thank you.
I'm reading Vassie and Misery again.
Oh.
And I found information about this place. And also the widow's house.
Okay, before I get started, do you like photos this way or this way or both?
I don't think it matters.
Okay.
I have a work publication.
Are you
Wants
taking
pictures
that?
of me.
Oh, go ahead.
Photo as well? Okay.
This was the home of the widow, Lydia Leister. Her husband passed away in 1858. She purchases this farm in 1861. She has 6 children, 4 of whom have grown up, moved on, got married, they live elsewhere. The 2 youngest, Hannah and Annie, are here with her. They are 8 and 7 years old at the time of the battle. It's really just a subsistence farm. 10 acres going back to that red barn that you can see back there. That's the Fry farm. They're the next farm over. Small orchard, animals, basic, just what they need to survive. Sometime, evening of July 1st, morning of July 2nd, Union officer rides up to her door and says, "We need your house. For headquarters, you're going to have to leave." So she grabs a basket, puts some clothes in it for the girls, heads off down the road, looking for somewhere safe to stay. She'll bounce around to a couple of different farms before they find somewhere far enough away with enough space for all 3 of them. And they'll stay there for several days. In the meantime, General Meade here is going to move into the house with all of his staff. And this I get very busy very quickly. This is a list of all of his headquarters staff. There's cavalry out here. There are a few companies of infantry, all acting as provost and headquarters guard. There's a signal station out here that's communicating with places like Little Round Top and East Cemetery Hill and Culp's Hill. So it gets super busy. General Meade is going to, a lot of the other generals are going to ride in here looking for instructions. As the battle gets going on July 2nd, he's going to ride out of here, checking out what's going on over on the front. But on the evening of July 2nd, when the fighting has died down and they've had an awful day of it, that he's witnessed firsthand, he calls all of his generals here. And you hear multiple reasons for why he does this. Some people say, poor guy's only been in charge of this army for 5 days at this point. So some people say he has no clue what he's going to do. Personally, I think he knows what he's going to do. He just needs to make sure everybody's on the same page. He's already dealt with one general that day who was not on the same page as everybody else. Yeah, so he's not even here to defend himself, but he doesn't want a repeat of that. It was a disaster. So he needs to find out what's going on with the various people and whatever these things. So 12 Union generals spent time in this building on the evening of July 2nd for what we've come to know as the Council of War. We know that General Butterfield here would have been sitting at the table, taking notes. He was the chief of staff. Thankfully, those notes survived, so we know what got said. General Warren, whose picture is missing for some reason. Poor guy, chief of engineers. He's had a super busy day. He was up on Little Round Top. He's got a big statue up there for good reason. He's often known as the savior of Little Round Top. He's also got a slight wound in the neck from that. He curls up in a corner, falls asleep, misses the whole thing. It's crazy. Nobody bothers to wake him up. The rest of the gentlemen here are all Corps commanders, or the two on the bottom are division commanders. And General Meade is basically going to ask 3 questions. He's going to ask, do we stay or do we retreat? If we stay, do we move our lines, or do we leave them right where they are? And if we're going to stay, do we attack, or do we wait for Lee to attack us? If we're going to wait, how long? Well, thankfully, they're all on the same page. They all say we should stay. They all say, don't move our lines, more than minor adjustments. And they all say, let's wait for Lee to attack us, but wait no more than a day or 2. Well, Lee is very obliging, and he attacks the next day. Before the infantry charge, there's 2-hour cannonade back and forth. We are on the reverse side of Cemetery Ridge. If you step out onto the porch, you can see General Meade's statue. You can see the copse of trees. Because of that, a lot of the Confederate shots overshoot that ridge, and they land here. So for a while, General Meade's going to have to vacate the house because it's just too dangerous. So he goes over to Powers Hill, which is where General Slocum has his headquarters, and he hangs out there for a few hours. But he comes back. As soon as things die down a bit, he comes back. He kind of needs to, because all these guys expect to find him here. So he needs to be where everybody expects to find him. They'll stay for a few more days. They'll resupply the army, feed the troops. The troops haven't been fed in 3 days. Plus, you've got a downpour on July 4th that makes the roads disgusting. So once they've determined Lee is left, they've resupplied, they will go after Lee. They leave, Lydia Leister comes back. And she comes back to a disaster. A cannonball has gone through the house. Her well has been fouled by dead animals. There are dead horses in the yard and in the road. Most of her orchard is gone. Most of her crops are gone. If not trampled, then they've been fed to those cavalry horses. But she's got 2 small kids, which she's got to feed and take care of. So she does the best she can to keep moving forward. She'll replant the crops, redig that well, which is the one you see out here. She'll repair the house, and life will go on. A little later on, she gets an inheritance, purchases a little more land, and adds a 2-story addition onto that side of the house. In 1888, she decides she's retiring from farming. She's just going to move into town, and agrees to allow the War Department to purchase the property. National Park Service doesn't take over here until 1933. However, she does not want them to tear down that 2-story addition. She's rather proud of it. She worked hard to get that. So they compromise. They detach that 2-story addition and they move it into town. You can see this is a picture with the, this is the house we're standing in here, and that's the addition. Lydia will live in that addition for the rest of her life. And that addition still exists. If you go next to the Dobbin House, that building to the right, known today as the Dobbin House, Gettysburg Inn, that is Lydia's 2-story addition. So you can actually stay in it if you wanted to.
So how did they move it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry. All I know is their name. Yeah, right.
How old was she when she was here?
In 1863, she was 58 years old.
So she lived a long time here.
She did, yeah. Yep. And this is her standing on the porch. It's the only picture I know of that identifies her standing on the porch of the house.
And we know the heavy council were in this room versus that room?
I'm not entirely sure which room it really was.
Yeah.
Because they mentioned the table, but they also mentioned that some of them sat on the bed.
Yeah.
All I know is it's one of the rooms.
Pretty small. Imagine 12 men in here.
Yeah.
Wearing wool uniforms after a hot July day. Yeah.
And their,
I'm sure it's great.
their pheromones up.
Yeah.
Is there a second floor?
There is. It's just a basic attic loft
Okay.
kind of thing. And I think I believe our fire suppression stuff is up there, so I'm not allowed to let people
That's fine,
in,
that's
but
fine. I was just curious if the children probably stayed up there.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
Especially as they've got a little older, so. But I can't say for sure.
Okay.
So that's the story of this building. Small space with a lot going on. Significant location.
She didn't get remarried.
These are all typical of what she had. In the museum, we have the table, the chair, the corner cabinet, the bed frame, and a dresser that are the originals. So these are as close as they could get to what was there. Yeah.
Can I get a photo of you with all the people?
Absolutely.
Well, that was really fascinating.
It was. I like it.
See, we learned something new today.
Yeah. Very well taught.
Yes, she did a very good job. That would be neat. Yeah. Oh, I know.
Pushing this.
Let's go that way.
House is on around their Meade area or something.
I don't know, maybe. Yeah. Big monument. So beautiful out here. Yeah. What a beautiful day here at Gettysburg to explore, find new places, find a new house to look at. It's awesome. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like our channel, subscribe.